Oh, yawn. Bow, 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 bow. Pause. Cool. Alright. I think I'm all set up. Gonna stream a bit. It is 8:30, 8:40. How many days has it been since the stream? I think like 3 or 4. 3. I've had 3 days in between. I spent 2 of them. Well, one of them did the NES thing, so I did stream that day. So, yeah, after that, I did take a day off. I played Grounded for some more. I still haven't beat that game. And then yesterday I did. Let me make sure this is right. Yeah. Oh, also, I got my new cable for the microphone. Hopefully, I'll have to just keep an eye on it, but hopefully the mic doesn't just like turn off again. Put that over here so I can actually check it out. Right, yeah. So yesterday I did some work on this. I don't know if I'm gonna put this on YouTube or not. I don't know. Parts of me like wonder why I even care. I should just do it if I feel like it, right? Maybe I think about it too hard. Alright, so I can show this like, let's just assume this goes on YouTube. I can show this real messy resolution option thing that I've got. So far I've only done the resolution one and a bit of the window one. So I can show that. For the resolution one, I put this arrow timer left and right, and then I've got this arrow timer. If it's greater than 0, it just counts down. And then what I did is if global left key pressed or the mouse button is clicked on this this point right here. Oh, okay, it's bouncing all over the place. This point right here is like where the arrow is on in the options menu. If you click like there within 15 pixels, which is like 15 is the radius, so 30 around. So yeah, either left mouse button or you press that left arrow. We turn this arrow timer left to 10. So what this is going to do is it's going to change the spread of the arrow to turn on for 10 frames, and then it'll turn back off because the arrow timer is constantly counting down when it's above 0. So that's kind of how I got these like timer buttons working without doing timers. It's a lot easier this way, I think. And then I got this ridiculousness of putting in every single one of these resolution options as a setting. Basically, I just wrote them out as a string. And it goes through. If it's this string, it moves on pressing the left button. It goes, I think, back to the start or something. Like other things I've done to where it's just constantly cycling through all this stuff. And then once it cycles through something, it sets up these new globals that I've got. I was using global resolution before, but I thought about it and I actually need like an X resolution and a Y resolution because, yeah, it's 2 different numbers. So I set it up like that, X res and Y res, and I got rid of normal resolution. But yeah, when you go left, it just changes it to the top one, which was 142160, or not 402160. So yeah, I'm just setting that up here. The X res is now this, the Y res is now that. To change the display, well, okay, this is setting the setting, what the name of it is. Got ahead of myself. This change your display. I've got this thing screen reset on the controller now, it changes the display, and I'll show it. And then it's important that we exit the script at this point so it doesn't like continue going down the list, right? Once it finds the one that we're currently on, it'll swap. This is horrible. I know it is. It's a lot of if statements, but then it also, it only read as many of them until it finds the one it wants. So the worst one is the final one, right? You'll have to go through every single line of code until it finds the final one, and then it'll activate and exit. Everything else, it's only reading up till the point where it finds the one it wants. And these are options menus. They're not like super intense gameplay stuff, so I'm not really worried too much about the frame rate. I'm an adult and I just spilled drink all over myself. Oops. Alright. So, yeah, that's how that works. This is how like cycling through all this stuff works. And the right key is the opposite. That's why I have this timer right. And yeah, it just goes in the other direction. Not that difficult. At least, I mean, it was a lot to write out, and there's a lot of resolution options to do. But this was actually not the hard part. It was just tedious. So the unusual part is in this controller object. So I looked online how to do changing resolutions, because I've never done it before, and I found a little, it was like a Reddit post. Somebody was talking about it, and this is the process they had. Theirs was a little bit different, but it was basically like this. So in GameMaker Studio, there's an issue, or there might be an issue. I don't know if it's still true. So I think it's still true. I think it's like a year-old subreddit, but I don't know if they've changed it or not. I might be wrong about that, what I'm saying. But to where when you change the resolution in your game, you'd have to restart the game, right? A lot of games are like that. But somebody worked out a way to do it without having to restart your game, and that's what this does. So the screen reset thing, this is how I do it. What I do is I say, anytime I want to reset the screen, I set screen reset in this controller object to equal 0, and it starts out, this controller object is one of the first things that gets created, and it will immediately reset the screen when it's first created, because it needs to set all the saved menu options, right? So the game will always start at default, but this has to run so that it actually sets to what it's supposed to be. And the way this works, okay, so we've set screen reset equals 0. So the first thing it's going to do is do case 0, and it's going to do a display reset. This is how you set up VSync. So I put VSync in here to prepare for the future, and then there's anti-aliasing here. I don't plan on making an option for that, so I just set it to 0, which is my default. It does that, and then it does screen reset plus plus, so it'll move on to the next one. But before that, I think this is how switches work. It will break here, and then it will end, because that's the way like a switch statement works, is it just runs through the thing that it was actually on. So the idea behind this, and I haven't tested it the other way, but I just kind of took the guy's word for it that this is what you need to do, so I just did it. But the idea here is it's running each one of these things on their own step. So yeah, in one step it'll run the 0 one, and then the next step it'll run the 1, the 2, the 3. So it has to do it like that. If you did them like all on the same step, it causes issues apparently. So yeah, this was the solution this guy came up with, and so far it works, so I'm not going to screw with it. But yeah, on the next step, it sets the window size to be our X resolution and Y resolution from our settings. Yeah, and then it advances, and then it sets, it checks to see if the window full screen is on or off, and then skips forward, and then it does this surface resize, application surface, and it sets it to the option XRes, and the option Y res, and then it moves up, and then once it's at 4, it's not going to do anything anymore. So the idea is, if you ever set it to 0, it'll run through all of these steps, and then it'll stop when it gets to 4, and nothing else will happen. And the cool thing about this is, once it's at 4, nothing's ever going to happen here, right? It'll check this switch, it'll run this one line, which there's nothing there, and it'll break. So it's not going to like hurt your frame rate at all if you're just constantly running it. So the other way to do this is you just make you create an object, and then once it gets to the final line here, you just like destroy the object that you created to run the script, and that would make it to where you're not constantly running this. I just decided I wanted to put it on the controller so I didn't have to create this object. But I don't know, I might go back to making it an object. I think my object is here, the screen changer. It's basically the same thing, it just instance destroy and the step numbers at the very end. So yeah, this is basically what it is. You could do it either way, I think. You could make it to where one of your like main objects, your controller objects, handles it, or you can just make this object and all you do is create this object. It'll run through the code and then it'll destroy itself when it's done. I was just worried that if you created 2 of these objects before the 4 frames, if that's possible, it might cause an issue. For this one, if you set it to 0 twice, it's not really going to break anything wherever it is. Controller, I passed it. Below. Where is it? Way below? I'm lost. Yeah. Alright, yeah. If it's set to 0 and it only gets to like 2 and then it resets to 0, it's not really gonna like break anything. I was just afraid, like, yeah, if you have an object and it's running through the code, but then you create another object before the first one finishes, you could do something like, if instance exists, then don't create another version of that instance. Yeah, or I can just, I don't know. I'm gonna try it this way. I don't know what's best. This probably isn't best now that I think of it, because it's constantly running. But then again, it's only constantly running this little teeny bit, which does nothing. So it should be fine. Okay, I also added this for full screen. If keyboard check direct Alt, the Alt key, and keyboard check press, the Enter key, then it's going to, if it's full screen, it's going to turn the full screen off. If it's not full screen, then it's going to full screen. And then we run this screen reset thing, and we exit on the first one. Otherwise, we'll exit on the second one. Oh, it's not even necessary, actually. So, yeah, this is just because a lot of, you don't know, you press Alt-Enter on most programs, it's supposed to go to full screen. But Game Maker Studio doesn't do that by default, so I'm setting that up here. The other one is in F11. F11 is another common key for setting full screen. I just did the same thing here. And I put it on my controller. So yeah, Alt-Enter or F11 usually full screens a lot of applications. I'd set up this F1 one just because I had no way to like reset my options menu stuff. And now that I'm messing with the options, I don't have like a default button yet. So I just have this like button on F1 that resets all the options and then saves them so I can start from scratch again. And I'll probably delete this later because it won't be necessary. This is just like a for testing kind of thing. Also had to add to, if you press the Alt key, you can't do the confirm key or the confirm key pressed. That's just to stop, like if you're on the main menu and you're on new game or whatever, if you press enter, you're just going to start the game. So, and I didn't want to get rid of the enter key, so I just made it to where if you have the Alt key pressed down, you can't use the enter key except for the full screen. So I just did it that way. The only unfortunate part here is the Alt key is going to be weird. I gotta make sure that the Alt key cannot be the key confirm press or key confirm. Yeah, Alt key just can't be on a confirm button. Otherwise it will never work. So I couldn't think of a way to get around that. I could make a key for like, I don't know. I don't know how people normally do the full screen when it comes to Alt Enter. Because I know like any program you press Alt Enter on, it's not supposed to register the enter for anything. So you have to make it to where if you're holding down Alt, the enter key just doesn't count for anything other than the full screen effect. But that means for things like key bindings, I don't know, I'd be curious in testing a couple games like how this works with the Alt key. If I was to set like the key binding to be the enter button, what actually would this just like you're holding down the Alt button, right? And then if the enter key, well, okay, this one it has to be enter. Okay, never mind, that doesn't matter either. I don't know. I think it'll be fine. I don't know if anybody wants to use the Alt button for their enter. Okay, there's those. An options window. I've set up a few more of these like draw things to where we're drawing these different settings that I've been setting. There's nothing big there. I added this stuff here. We're drawing those settings. I'm trying to do all those settings in the options display or the button that it's part of. But the options window needs to be the thing that draws. Getting kind of messy. There's no way around that. Alright. We've also got the window mode thing. So, I think I've done this backwards. The window mode, I'm using the arrow thing for window mode. Yeah, I think I've done this backwards. To where I should have set it up to where whatever the window mode is, it goes through like 0, 1, 2, and 3. And then based on what that is, it figures out whether it's borderless or full screen. Based on like which one of the three it is. Instead I did it the other way around to where I just figure out if it's full screen, or yeah, if it's not full screen, it'll switch from window to borderless. And if it is full screen, it'll switch to not full screen, to window. So it kind of like cycles through those three options by changing the globals directly. But I don't know. I think it would have been better if I did it the other way around. The problem is I just set it up to where I was just making it switch between windowed and full screen, and that all worked fine. But the second I wanted to add in the borderless part, I was like, okay, I didn't really plan this out very well. So I just kind of like tacked borderless in there hazardly and made it work. But I really should have planned for all three options from the beginning. But oh well. It works. It just looks really complicated. Yeah, it does what I just said. It's still the like, it's checking left pressed or whatever. But yeah, it's gonna find out if full screen's on or off before it makes its first choice. And then if it's off, then it's gonna, if it's windowed, it'll go to borderless, or if it's borderless, it'll go to full screen. And then the other one is the other way around. Cool. Draw event, I didn't show this, but this is how the arrow works. If the timer equals 0, then it'll just show a normal left arrow. But if otherwise else, so if the timer is anything but 0, it'll be the one that's actually like lit up. So yeah, that's just how it lights up for those 10 frames. Same with the other one. And these only work if it's active, so if the button's not on, you don't see the arrows. Basically how that works. Okay, let's look at all that. I hope my full screen thing still works. Let me look at it real quick before the game opens. Yeah, I think it is. Game Maker programming. It should work. Ooh. What happened? It opened and closed immediately. That's weird. Let's try it again. Is it because I pressed 1 before it opened all the way? There it is. Okay. So if I press 3, you should be able to see this after a brief delay. Alright, so options. Here it is. So you can see we have display highlighted. It shows window mode, windowed, resolution 1920 by 1080. And this is just so that you can see what your options are before you actually click on them. So if you click on it and then it goes in, once this is selected, it shows the 2 arrows with windowed. I can't actually show you this because if it... Actually, technically it's in full screen, but that's because I cheated to get it to full screen using my 3 button. Yeah, I didn't even think about this. Usually I press 3 to open full screen, but it also switches the scene in OBS. So it forces full screen without going through the proper channels that I've set up now. You'll just have to take my word for it. When I press the arrow or I press left and right, it does cycle through the different stuff, right? Same thing with resolution. I can't really show that off. Okay, let me try this. I'm gonna close this. I think instead of what I usually do, we'll look at the scene. And then hit play again. The scene might run slow. It usually does for like screen capture stuff. But it at least show how this is working. But yeah, you can see it's lagging. I don't know why it started doing this. It's been a couple years now. A couple years ago, it just like anytime you run the launcher without full screening it, and you have OBS running like capturing display capture, it causes the run window to lag. And it's been like that for a few years. Honestly, I probably could have done a bug report about that. It's a very weird problem that no one cares about but somebody streaming Game Maker. Anyway, here we go. We open this. So we got windowed. I can't show full screen or borderless, so I'm gonna skip this one. But I can show these different resolution things. So yeah, as you go down them, it rescales it with the different ones. 14, 9, that, this, all these weird resolutions that I don't know why anybody would ever actually use any of this stuff, but there's probably a reason. And then back to 4096, so real big. Accidentally swapped. Oh, it went back to full screen. Oh, did I hit here? I think that's what happened. That probably messed up the display. So you can see the borderless windowed. Yeah, I think I went up and then went over or something. Yeah, it's not from the VSync. I don't know how that happened. Anyway, there you go. That's how that works. And it will save it if I exit. So, all that works. The only thing not working is the borderless. This I haven't set up yet because I need, apparently it's a totally different process to get borderless working in Game Maker, which I'm probably going to look up now. Anyway, the things missing from that are I want buttons to be displayed on the right. It shows all the options that you can click on. So I'll do that. I don't know what to do first. Should I do that or should I do... I guess I should do the buttons first. The buttons is going to be more annoying, but I'll do the buttons and then I'll look up how to do borderless window. Okay, so the guy that was showing the how to change resolution was also talking about how to do borderless window, but he didn't go into the detail about it. He just says you have to use like a DLL file, but didn't explain how. So I'm gonna have to like Google that on its own. But it seems like it's not like a coding thing, which is weird to me. I feel like borderless window is just a thing in every game and should be on by default. I feel like a lot of this option stuff is overly complicated in Game Maker when they should be standard stuff, right? I feel like you should just have options, just like options in a game where you can set this stuff through code. And having to do it in this like roundabout way, it just seems like why? You've got, I don't know. I feel like Game Maker Studio, I don't know, should probably look into that and just make it simplify it. And they simplify so much in it. I don't see why they make options. They just didn't do anything. Okay. So these buttons gonna work. Let's get rid of the window mode for now. There's no easy way to do these buttons I've been thinking about. So just an idea what I'm talking about, and it'll help me think through the process. I'm gonna open the game again and look at it. I'm also going to quickly reset my default options. So ignore the window. That'll never be true because it's set windowed by default, but because I force it open, this will never be true. And I know it. Anyway, what I want to do is, like, if you highlight resolution, I want all the resolution options to appear on the right here. So that's the goal. And then I'm thinking for like all the options, there should be like a list of the ones that you can just quickly click on with the mouse. Because personally, I don't like doing this, like having to go through every resolution size to find the one you want. I always find that's like really aggravating. I hate when game devs do that. So I don't want to be doing that. I don't want to be a hypocrite. So I need like all the options to be like easily accessible, so you can just find the one you want and click on it, and there you go. And I don't want to do like a drop down box. So I thought the next best thing is, yeah, when you highlight resolution, all the options show up and you just click on the one you want. If you are arrowing through it though, it's just gonna like arrow through the options and display it. And I'm thinking I'll do that with all this stuff. So like for this one, you'll have the 3 options that it can be. For VSync, you'll just have like on and off, but there'll also be like the checkbox. For audio, of course, you'll have the sliders, so there's nothing much here. That one's self-explanatory. For game, we'll have auto skip, and we'll have like the 3 options, or 2 options, whichever it is. And then I'll have a short description like on the right or on the bottom saying what these all do. And of course the different key bindings is going to be using the whole screen for all that. So that's what I want to set up. I want to get like how these options work, which I don't think my window is big enough for. Might be a problem, we'll see. I'm gonna set up the window to work with like buttons that are half the size. Also, where do I set all this stuff up? I can't really do draw event because we're talking like all these buttons, right? There's a lot of buttons. And trying to like find out, draw them where they're supposed to be, and make it to where they've all got like a certain hitbox. It just seems like it would be way easier to do objects for every one of these being its own button. I don't think it'll be that difficult, but I definitely need like a new group for this, which is just resolution buttons. Let's figure out how the first one works. We'll do it from there. So this is going to be, yeah, they are buttons. We'll do button resolution. Let's do 1920. What if I can do an X? Yeah, I should be able to. 1080, like that. So it's this resolution. We go to sprites, UI, selection. Creation event. Yeah, so all these buttons, I set them up to be like half the size. At least I got all the coordinates in here based on half the size. But I'm gonna try and do the buttons as half size to start with. We'll see what it looks like. It's just X scale. Y scale still large. But we do need image alpha equals 0. Active equals false. That's all normal. Color equals C gray. I pretty sure I just copy pasted this, huh? The whole mouse enter thing is not true though. And the arrows isn't true. Do something different with that. We were using, let's just use what we were using before, which was 20. That's gonna be way too big. We'll use 20 anyway. Come on, off center here. Move this over. Okay, draw set color. Alright, so I've got my coordinates on my big notepad file. I think it should be the same as what I have here. Unfortunately, I don't know where this resolution option is. I probably should have figured that out. Yeah, that's true. You know what, let's just put it at the default one, because we're really just getting like the idea of how this button works before I copy and paste it, right? So it should be 1250, 160 for the first one. And then what it says, which is 1920 x 1080. Color. Not image alpha, I want to do 1. Oops. There we go, so it's always on. Yeah, I'm going to do something to where this button creates itself if you have resolution selected, and then destroys itself if that's not true. And honestly, this is the best test for it because this is the biggest thing, all these resolution options. But I have nothing that actually changes the color. No, that's fine. That'll be part of the step. Alright, step event. What do we have to do here? Okay, so we need something like this. But it's going to be something different in here. So what I want to know is if BT options resolution I want to know if it's active is true. Actually, I want to know if it's false. So if it's active is false, and you destroy yourself and exit the script. So yeah, this has to be active for this to actually happen. Now, how do we set it active? Active is when it's selected. So we're not doing it the normal way with mousing over. But we will set this up. So if active, okay. So if it is active, that computer's getting kind of loud. Next computer I get, I really need a quieter fan. Alright, all that seems good. Now we just gotta figure out how do we make it active. So there's one way it could be active is if button options resolution. Actually, I don't even know if I have the right one. I want this setting. Oh no, I picked the wrong one. Let's pick which one it is though. It's this one. Okay. If that is true, then active equals true. And then the other way this becomes active is if so I just really cut out this whole mouse enter part. I want to combine this part. Okay, and this part. Distance to point and mouse back button release left. Right. So if you're touching the mouse, basically, when the left mouse button is released. Oh, well, I don't have to do this. I can just say active equals true. I guess I need something to turn off active too, right? Oh no, I don't do that. I just say, okay, better idea. So to turn off active, I say else active equals false. I didn't want to do this before because then this wouldn't activate, but if I throw this below, right there, and then this, I just say BT options display equals this. 1920 by 1080. There we go. So if you are on it and you press the left mouse button, it's going to set options display dot whatever it is setting to be what it's supposed to be. And then once that's set, then the next part, it'll set the active of this button to be true. Otherwise, the active will be false. So that should set it up to, if I'm using keyboard and mouse or if I'm using the mouse, I should be able to set this regardless. Now I just need to figure out how to create this button. Also, the text won't be in the right place, I don't think, because I haven't set that up. Got to do like, what's the offset on the text? Should be 18 and 17. So this will be 68. And 17 would be 77. I think that'll put that where it's supposed to be, which will offset it from the button. The button needs to go with those other coordinates. But that is when I create the button. So where do I create the button at? The button gets created if this becomes active. This becomes active. Where? Where it goes? It's up here? This is the only thing that sets active? Okay, so this is where it's got to be. But I need something that only triggers the one time. So it only creates one object. Oh, I know how to do this. So if I go like that, I'm going to split this up. Make it easier to read. Alright, so if I want this right now, if options window choice display equals 2, this becomes active. But the problem is, once this equals 2, this will always be setting to active over and over every step. To make that not happen, you say if that and active equal, or yeah, instead of that, and not active. So if choice of display equals 2 and we're not active, then we turn active on. If active's on, oh wait, no, this won't work. If active's on, it would just turn it back off. Oh, I could split this up and say, at this point, if UI options window okay, that up. Got an H. We just say if it is not equal to, then active equals false. Okay, so if it equals 2 and we're not active, I'm going to turn it on, but I only turn it on once because then it is true. But then once it is true or this doesn't equal what it's supposed to be, we're going to see if this equals what it's supposed to be, and then we're going to turn it off. Okay, now at this point, this only runs once. We can create all of our buttons. So instance create depth. We're gonna create it at the right spot. For now, I'm gonna put it where I was, 1250, 160. 12, 50, 160. We'll move this in a bit. The depth will be whatever the depth of this is, that's fine. The object will be button res 1920. That one. Create this object. Alright, so once this object's made, when the button is not active, it will destroy itself. So it'll go away. Okay, so I only want this button to display if this is actually selected. I think that'll work without breaking anything now. Let's test it. This will only work for the one button that we've created. But if this works, then I can just copy and paste it in everything. Mic's still working, that's good. That's right, I created a new object, so I gotta reload the texture group. That's gonna take a little while. A lot of work for usability, but I think it's important. So we get this one going, all these resolution options to where we can mouse on them. And then we get the window, those buttons working, and then figure out how borderless window actually works. That's kind of like the plan. Once that's done, we're kind of back on track. I feel like these are a lot harder. VSync is super easy, it's just the true or false with the check mark button. So I can do that one quick. Do gameplay stuff, which shouldn't be too difficult, but no, I'm going to be coding like movement stuff. Honestly, every one of these options got its own challenges. I think the audio won't be too hard because it's just setting my global variable and attaching it to this slider. Though I don't have the art for the slider yet, that's something I'll have to draw. A lot of work, actually. Like several days. I said it already, but several days working on this options menu stuff. Just so it'll do all the, and I'm not even doing that much stuff. Still consider it's kind of the bare minimum. I mean, I could have made it a lot worse. The menus could have been simple, where you just click it and everything pops up. I could have had a lot less resolution options. I could just not bother with borderless, but I want it in there because I consider it as a thing of quality, and I know anybody who streams likes borderless window. Well, because most people have like a two monitors, so they want to lock their mouse to one monitor and have it full screen on only the one monitor. So if I want people to stream my game, then I really need to take the time to get borderless working correctly. So I think it's very important. Alright, so all this is still fine. We don't see these buttons yet. When I go in, this is fine, but when I select resolution, button should pop up. There it is. It's not ideal, needs to be smaller. I probably need to condense it and get rid of the spaces in here. I need everything to fit inside the button. Right now, that is selected. If I change the resolution, it should deselect. It also went back to window because it reset, so you can't see anything. It worked. Basically, yeah. I changed the resolution. This one deselected. So it was selected before when it was at 1920 1080. Let's go back. After I click on the window. Here we go. So yeah, it deselects, it selects. That's what we're going for. We want every button we go through to cycle through. Oh, but what we haven't tested is if I click on this, where the button is, it should select that. It's not selecting that. I wonder why that is. Is it because the image alpha is not on, so we technically can't click it? Or, oh, wait, no, that worked. Am I doing something wrong? Because I had to move way to the left here. Right, I'm like way over here. Instead, I should be clicking like right where the button is and that be activating it. But I gotta click way over here. So the button's technically here. Also, when I click on it, it doesn't change the resolution, does it? Let's go to something obvious like this. Yeah, okay, it changes the thing, but it doesn't do the thing it's supposed to do. So I need to do that. Okay. So there's some problems. Need to iron. Hope the screen shows up eventually. Okay, so the things that are broken is when you select the thing, the setting changes to 1920 1080. Okay, the screen's not changing. What the hell? There we go. What is that up there? Let's go, bud. Okay, everything's working now. Right, this stuff should be... I guess it has to activate all this stuff as well with the click. I thought just setting it would have done it, but apparently not. I need to activate all the stuff that goes with it. So, yeah, that's true. I need to really collapse this and get bigger. That's a lot of work. All this stuff has to happen. Also, we clicked the wrong one apparently. One too high. That's fine, I can fix that. I don't need this part. Alright, so that's the screen reset. That's changing that, and just make sure these numbers are right. 19, 20, 1080. Alright, so that should set all this up. I want to add here something else. I want to say if that inactive is false. That way you can't click on the button and constantly do this. You should only be able to click on it when it's not true. So, yeah, I want this and not active. So, if it's not active and you click on it, it'll do all this, and that'll set it to active here. So I don't really have to set it in this, though I could. My nose itches. It's driving me crazy. Sometime around fall, I used to get this problem with my nose to where it dries out really bad. I don't know if anybody else has that issue. It was a lot worse when I was in the military. I remember I'd go on deployment. When it starts to get cold, my nose is just turning into like this red blister. Hurt like crazy. But I was outside all the time, constantly like exercising. Alright, so the part that I wanted to change here is this is too big. Let's change it to be something smaller that fits inside the box. So we'll do 18. We just need to do it until it actually fits. Also, now, why wasn't the button clicking in the right place? If distance to point Oh, I've done the wrong thing here. Is greater than 0. Okay. Why is that? Did I just copy the wrong thing? That's greater than 0. Oh, this is for turning the mouse off. Yeah, oops. I should have done if it equals 0. I just copied the wrong one. There we go. Fixed. Also that. Okay, that should have fixed all those problems. Take a look. Also, I really should set up in my code. Otherwise, every time I do the screen reset, or I can just do this. It doesn't matter if it lags a bit. This will be better. Because just pressing 3 is going to cause it. Every time I do the screen reset, it's just going to like close the window anyway. I might as well just do that. Alright, so yeah, if I go to this, it's the one that's selected. It still doesn't fit. So I gotta adjust that some more. I don't know how. I think this is the biggest the numbers will get for on both sides. So as long as that fits, I think anything will fit. Really, if I move it to the left a bit, it's already kind of centered up and down. Anyway, let's go that way. Change the size of it and click on it. There you go. It's big and it set it to what it's supposed to be. Which we could see a lot better if it was way smaller. That. Click on it. There you go. That's better. Also, I didn't really show this, but that's how the arrows work. The arrows really aren't ideal as a selection tool because the arrow moves every time you click it. Not that great. Also, the way that like it selects something if the mouse goes over it, kind of aggravating. Honestly, the better one for mouse is why we're adding this, where you just click on the one you want. I was thinking about if I wanted to make it to where mousing over this would actually select it. Because you kind of want to like click on this, you got to go here. And then over. I guess that's fine. I mean, this all works for like controller and keyboard very well. The way it is now. It's just this, you do have to go through them all. But at least you can see on the right all the different options and you just keep going until you get to the one you want. Should make it a lot easier than having to look at what you're actually seeing in this line here to see what you're at. You can just see this will be cycling through the ones until it gets to where you're trying to get. Alright, so let's move this over a bunch. Probably like 10 or something. I can do that real quick with the draw. This needs to go, so 50 is 0. 1 over 10, it would just be 58. Try that. Play again. I'm just gonna keep messing with this until I get it in a good spot. I think 4096, 2160 might be the biggest one. But actually, I don't think they're any bigger. If the numbers are the numbers don't really get any bigger. That looks good. At least it fits in there now. I feel like it should be on the one that it's actually created on too. You see how like when I mouse over this, it takes a brief second before it actually selects it? That's because it has to run through the whole code of the step event to find that it's actually supposed to be on. And if I did it in the creation event, it would find that it's supposed to be on before it draws it. Let's do that. But I can now switch back to this. That's a little easier to see. And I've got to remember that this is just +8 now. I'm going to write that down. 8 and 17. I'm running out of places to write notes. I have to make better notes. +8, +17 for res button. There we go. Trying to figure out what some of these notes were about. I've already forgotten. That's bad notes. Okay, so the part that I was talking about is I want this to figure out what it is before it creates. Just want this part in the creation. If the setting is this, instead of setting it to be false by default, we're going to see if it's actually true. Because of that, we don't need this in here anymore, but I do need the other parts of this for when it goes true. This part. So we'll just set it all up as it runs through. And then we get rid of it from here. There we go. So if the setting happens to be what we're going to be, then it'll set it to active equals true, change the color to C white, or create it at C white, image alpha equal 1. Otherwise, active is false, color C gray, image alpha equals 0. So this should happen before it even is drawn. Alright, now I gotta make all the other buttons, but I can copy paste this code and basically the same. So let's do that. I need to close all of this. Is there anything else I want to change here? I think this is all good. So the parts I'll have to change is really just this. Yeah, anything that has the actual resolution numbers, I just change the resolution numbers to what it's actually supposed to be. And of course, where it's being created at, we'll have to do that. Everything else should be fine. So I guess I could figure this out real quick. $12.50, $160. Honestly, the only things that's changing here is the Y value. Until we get into the next layer of them, and then it's going to be both. I think it'll be fine. I can copy it just like this. Okay, that confirmed. Let's do it. So we need, how many we need? Should I just name these as I go, or what? Guess so. Got them all right here. Control D. Alright, starting from the beginning, it's 1024 by 768. Um, 1152 by 864. 1280. 720. 1280s. 800. And then 960. $1280 by 1024. I honestly don't understand all these different resolution options. Also, this is less than ideal that it has ordered this one in front of the other ones. I see why it's done it, because one is below 7, even though 1024 is bigger than 720. I need to order these in the correct order, I think. So to do that, we got to change the numbers again. We got to do like, this is res 1. This is res 2. And I think if I do it this way, they'll actually be in the order that I placed them in, which is very important. Not that one. 3. There we go. Now they're in order. Oh, but I've made another mistake, because once I get to 10, it's just going to do it all over again. Shit. So we need to do 01. I always make this mistake right here. Anytime I'm organizing files, I forget to do the 0102 so that they stay in order. I guess this is good because I'll be able to count how many there are, make sure that I didn't miss anything. Alright. So that's that one. Now we're on 08. 08 is 1360 by 768. This 9 1366 768. Yeah, I got these numbers off of I think it was Grounded. And I'm just gonna trust that the BioWare team know what resolution options people want. Is there a much more accomplished company than I am? Even though I don't understand it, and I should probably look it up so that I understand why they go with all this stuff. I think you can look up like a Wikipedia page that actually explains resolutions, or common resolutions. Maybe we'll look at that real quick in a bit when I get all this set up so that we know the why of what we're doing. I like to know the why of what I'm doing when possible. 900. Did we pass? No. 1920. Still building up to 1920. So we got a couple 1600s. 1024. Oops. Honestly, I might want to just do that real quick, but that'll be fine. I'm almost done. Okay, so this one actually is the one that we want. So let's just skip to 15. So 15 would be 16, 12, okay. And then that, and then 1920 by 1200. Alright. You change your name to 14. Those. All it takes is one screw up to mess this up, by the way. So I think the name might not matter too much. I'll be able to tell when I messed it up. But I gotta get all the other numbers correct. I mean, this is what coding is. You have to be very accurate with your numbers. 560 comes after 2048. 1440 is the first one. That's 2560 again. But this one's 1600. $38.40, this one I usually use. 60. One resolution option. 1, 2, 3, 4. I lost count. Or I counted not right. 1. Yeah, 21. Alright. Now to go through every single one of these and change all the numbers. Ah, please stop. Okay. It would be better to just copy paste some of this. At least copy paste a little of it. It's sad that I left the space in there though. Otherwise I could have done this all as like one word. So, oops. Yeah, see, if I double click on it, it only takes the first bit. I should have not have put the space in it. I just thought it looked nicer. But mistakes were made. Save. That should be it for that. So I could double click this and paste as well. I just gotta remove the spaces. There we go. Oh, and then where they go. Need to know that. Alright. This first one, where does it go? So the 1258 doesn't change, and technically this is 177. So this one doesn't change. This is the top left button. Alright, so this one's already set up. Next one. So yeah, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go to the first one. Type all this stuff out as it's supposed to be, which is 1152 space X space 864, and then select all that, copy, open step, and then I just need to set these two up. And then put these numbers in. right? And then go to draw, double click that, paste it, and get rid of the spaces. And then I gotta change this to be 277. I'm going to make a mistake at some point here. Just a lot of things to do. Chances of making a mistake get higher and higher with this type of repetitive task. Like forgetting to remove the spaces here and forgetting what number this goes to. So this number actually corresponds with this number up until 8. That's nice. How did that happen? Actually, I'm just thinking about it. Oh God, I don't have enough buttons. Right, I've only got 16 buttons to work with. I need to actually figure out how the scroll wheel works as well. Shit. Yeah, I didn't think about that. I thought surely all the buttons would fit in there, but there's only 16 spots. There's 8 and then 8. Crap. Didn't think about that. Alright, I'm gonna keep going, but we're gonna have to figure out how scrolling works as well. I gotta do it for key binding, so I might as well figure it out now. But that's a pain in the butt. Got another thing to do. At least set up everything else while I'm in the groove. Also, I forgot to copy that. 7-7. Lucky sevens. This is the lucky resolution. Alright, so 8 is the last one here. Have to figure out our new numbers. The next one will be 1. Alright, so this one is true, but this number changes now. This number needs to be, it's 8, so 1508. So I just need to do, the 25 becomes 50. 25 becomes 50. We're halfway through them, about. There's so many places where I can screw this up. I hope I'm not messing anything up. Alright, so this is now 2, and this one is 50. Three, 50. I lost this one. I think it was 4. Honestly, it's 12 minus 8. So it should have been 4, so this will be 5. Hope I did that right. 550. So this one doesn't change anything. This one's actually correct. I just need to change this number. It'll be 650. Honestly, 1920 by 1200 is pretty close. Let's do that. One more. Alright, that's all the buttons. I'm gonna do the rest of them. I'm just gonna draw them somewhere else until I figure out how to scroll. I'll figure it out. It shouldn't be too hard, but it's gonna be a pain because I haven't really planned for it yet. I'm gonna set up like a variable that changes where the X and Y is, or where the Y is. It's gonna be weird. Alright, so what do I change these to? I can just set this to like... what gets it out of the way? They're like below those other buttons, which would be... Let's set it to... I mean, it doesn't really matter. I could just set it what it would be. No! Made another mistake. I didn't think about that. I've been going through these just thinking about doing 16, but yeah. It's not gonna be 16, it's gonna be like 11 on one side and the other 10 on the other side. So I should have done like 1 to 11. I stopped at 8. Really, like 2 of these or 3 of these is supposed to be on the other side. Well, now it's all fucked. I don't know. At this point, I just want the yellow numbers in right, and I'll figure this part out afterwards because none of it's right. Let's just get the yellow parts correct. Don't worry about where it goes all at the same time. Starting to, my eyes are getting blurry. Yeah, I don't care about these numbers. I'm gonna end up changing them anyway. Who cares? I just kind of wanted to see them all in the right area and watch it work, but it wasn't really gonna work. All right, 25, 60, 1600. What the future of resolution is? Does it need to go higher than 4K? Eventually, I think I have heard of 8K stuff, so I think it has gone over in the extremes right now. I don't know why you would need that much resolution on a monitor. Things just get really small unless you got a gigantic monitor. I've already got a pretty big monitor, and things are already still kind of small on it. Alright, I hope I didn't make any mistakes other than the coordinates. Seems like a lot. Not gonna lie. A lot of buttons. Maybe I should just do something to where just change the size of the buttons so that they all fit on screen. That just seems better. But then again, I still have to do it when I do the key binding, so I'm just kind of like delaying a problem I'm going to have to solve later anyway. Doesn't make any sense. This means I'm going to have to like draw to a surface, get all my buttons in there, and some sort of scrolling mechanic, and a scrolling bar. A lot more effort than I was willing to put in tonight. There we go. Let's set up these numbers where they're supposed to be. So it was 1258. Throw an 8 on like every single one of these. Alright. 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are the coordinates that I actually wanted. I feel like I need to update that real quick. I mean, it's all good up till this one. I also forgot to put the 8 on this, right? Because this was supposed to be, oh, it was supposed to be 17, plus 17. Yeah, I didn't do that. These all need to be 77. No, no, that's for the. Shit. Go back as far as possible. Yeah, the button does not go where the font goes. I was doing a correction for the font, but the button is where it was supposed to be. So it just depends on how far back I can go. I need to get rid of those 8s too. Alright, I think I'm going too far. Alright, I just need to change all these back to what they were. Which is, oh, just getting rid of the 8. That's easy enough. And then I gotta do 50 again. Alright, there we go. That's where the button's coordinates are supposed to be. Is this one actually right? Yeah, that's right. It's just the X. So the Y's are always like that. Okay, I want to update all this. So the first one that would be messed up is 09. Starting at 09. This number is wrong. We need to go back to 25, and you're now 977. You back to 25, 1077. 11. Last one? Yeah. Alright, from here on, it's just 1, 2, 3, 4. So you will be 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. That you create all the buttons. I'll be good. The only problem is going to be like a couple of these buttons are going to be off the screen until I figure out how to scroll. But everything should work now, and I should be able to cycle through them all. Let's try it. First, let's go to this. Hit play. Honestly, I shouldn't have done that because it's going to take a while to actually load the game. Okay. I feel like crap. Really work out great with you here, you know. We're gonna spend the whole day just doing this resolution display button thing for some mouse controls. This is game dev. Again, it's only 10:30. I can probably get some more done. I just already feel burnt out. I've only been doing it for 2 hours. Programming is it's exhausting in a totally different sort of way. It just like exhausts your brain. That's why I need so much sugar. It's hard to program for many hours, especially when you're doing like new stuff constantly. Just need like a moment to de-stress or unwind or something. Alright, let's see if this works. Options, go, click on it, and bam, that's a lot of options. Well, they're almost all on screen. I think there's 2 off the bottom right now. Man, that is tempting to just make me want to squish it, but it's just because I'm going to do key bindings just like this. I might as well figure out how to do the scroll down part, right? Just make it where there's some sort of bar. I'm going to have to draw something. Or maybe I have a sprite that I can repurpose into a bar. Have it to where you drag the bar down and it drags the whole thing. But it's got to be like drawing the surface, right? To where once it goes off of this, then it doesn't draw it. It'll be weird because these are all like its own objects. Anyway, let's see if it actually scrolls through them all like it should. So yeah, every time I go back, this one you can't see because it's off the bottom down there. Oh, there's 2 of them off the bottom there. Oh yeah, that's right. There should be one there, and then one just below it. But everything seems to be working. It's going through them all. Can't see that one. Alright, we made it all the way to 1920 by 1080. Let's go the other way. There you go. Click. Click. Oh, selected something else. I mean, honestly, you probably won't be clicking through so many resolutions, right? I am, because I kind of need to. But the idea is, this thing starts at like 1920 by 1080, you come in, and it's like, no, I want to be here. And you just click on it, and there you go. Now you move on. It's all set up. You don't have to like cycle through them all. Oh, that works great. Okay, a scroll wheel. Honestly, it works pretty well, right? That's like a lot of if statements, right? Really messy code. It's a bunch of objects being created. But, I mean, look, it like loads and destroys itself pretty smoothly, right? Not bad. Not like, I don't know. You don't have to be that optimized with your code. Computers are pretty strong nowadays. Sometimes I think people are just kind of hard on that, when it turns out you don't have to be like that picky. You can do something like this. Alright, scrolling. How the hell am I going to do that? I'm going to have to like do something to every one of these buttons, which sucks. But I got to figure out what I'm going to do for the scrolling up and down part. In a way, it's kind of like a slider, right? Only the numbers we're changing are the X and Y of our surface. When you think about it. Mic still works? Yeah. My glasses are really hurting my nose, or maybe it's just my nose hurts and it's making me notice my glasses on them. It's bugging me. Add contacts, I might put those in. Kind of like, I haven't bought new contacts in a couple of years. I don't really have an alternative to glasses right now. Okay, let's open this and that. So I think what I want to do, I need to do like a surface. Which my code can be found in here. We want all this stuff, copy. That should keep that open because I'm going to need the rest of it as well. Alright, so this is a normal button. I don't know why I did that. Nope, wrong way, that one. Alright, so we got a clip surface. Our width, height, and stuff. I don't know exactly what that's going to be. Or our 0. I got to figure that stuff out. Okay, to do that, it would be better if I just like use my font finder and find the coordinates. Let me do that. I guess the top coordinate would be where we start. Maybe like one above it. So I go to display, resolution, right. My top left. I don't know, I kind of want it to scroll. I guess the top of the window and the bottom of the window would be fine. Do this. But what I'm thinking is like, when all this stuff scrolls up, right? I think it's gonna go right behind this the orange border, right? And right to this border. I think my surface needs to be like in between here, this rectangle, right? So I really just need to find these points. The left right doesn't matter too much. That's kind of dumb. I just wanted to see where that is, but you can't even see the screen now. It should be fine. It's still giving the coordinates, right? A bit harder to line it up now. Okay, I think 150. Oh wait, no, that's. I guess 148. The 1250 is where it's at, right? No, is that 1225? Right? No, 1250 is where it's at. I don't know if I went 1250, I wonder if it would actually cut off like a pixel or not. I guess I could do 1250. 1250 and let's do like, I don't know, 147, 148. All right, 1250, 147. So this bottom one will be another weird number. 953. All right, 953, 147. 953, 147. 953, 147. 953, 147. Okay. And the other one was 1250. Yeah, I didn't get the last number. Now that I think about it, I was thinking I'd use the other side, but that's not true. It's the other side plus the width. Actually, that's easy enough. It's 1500 plus whatever selection is, which should be UI, selection sprite. I don't know why I did that. Right, so it's 15. Oh golly, we want 1500. Oh, that's easy enough. It's 1836. Be 1836. I feel like my numbers might be too tight and it's going to cut something off. 1830. Alright, so those are my numbers. Now, how to draw this box. So the 0, 0, this is the top left. Top left is 1250 is the X and 147. So that's how I do that. And then the room width, room height is going to be like my bottom right. So this will be 1836. But this isn't right. Let me just write them down real quick. But I know it's not right. 953. The reason it's not right is this is top left, but this is width. So I really need like the difference between this and that. I could do the math in my head, but because that's a 30 into a 50, it's fucking annoying. I'm gonna use my calculator. 1836 minus 1250, right? Yeah. Damn it. Missed the one. Oh, I did it again. There we go. 586 is what I was looking for. And the other way is 953, 147, 806. Alright, those are the numbers I want. I feel like I need to just copy and paste this into every single one of my buttons. Because they're all going to use this stuff. Really annoying. Especially if double click isn't going to work correctly. These numbers don't change. No, it's all the same. So honestly, this seems kind of dumb, but not really, because I don't know what would be better here. Would it be better at this point to just like, instead of doing it this way, I could say like whatever the parent object is, which would be, or I could actually make a parent object, which is something I didn't think about until now. Like, I don't know if it's better to keep these in here or just like, it seems dumb to put them all in like this. I'm gonna try it the other way. I feel like it'll be better. Right? If I threw it inside of this one, options resolution, right, and just have the other ones like refer to options resolution, what its values are. But yeah, in the draw events here, I definitely have to have them in. But I think it'll be better than just like copying and pasting this little bit into everything. I don't know. I mean, it's already going from like the draw event into the create event to figure out what this is, and then back into the draw event. Like, why not just go from the draw event into this one's create event, grab this, and then go back into the draw? I don't know if that'll be any worse for optimization. Probably, but we'll see. If it's running slow, then I'll do it a different way. I don't know. So I want to open up delete window again. Go into it to draw. We need all this stuff. Copy. Paste it there. This stuff. Oh man, doesn't this mean I'm going to be drawing like dozens or like 2 dozen almost surfaces? Doesn't sound like a good idea. Now I kind of wish all these buttons were their own object. Tells me this is a really bad idea. Because I'm going to be making like a ton of surfaces. So technically, I need to think of how this code works. I'm creating a surface here. I only need the one surface, right? I'm wondering if I can cut this stuff out. Do part of it in the code of this object, and the other part in the code of the button itself. I don't think so. I think they all have to be together, and which means I can't just split it up like I was thinking. Maybe. I don't know. This is complicated. It wouldn't be complicated if they weren't all their own objects. That makes it more difficult. I don't know. Part of me just wants to like rethink everything. I think the big issue here is I want them all to be button. If it wasn't for that fact, like, it's the fact that I need the hitboxes of each one of them. So that I know which one to select. And it just seemed much easier to make them all objects. But the fact that all these objects have to like raise on their own surfaces in this big scroll wheel. And this is still not as many buttons as I'm going to have next, right? Actually, that might not be true. When I do key bindings, it's just, I don't have that many key bindings. I just have, I only have 8. But actually, key bindings doesn't even have the scroll thing. I wish I'd have thought of that. Yeah, that's right. Because there's only confirm, cancel, right, left, up, down, pause, and attack. So key bindings doesn't even have extra stuff. That means I would be better to just not do this and to shrink everything. Fuck it, I'm gonna shrink everything. I don't want to do this. This won't work. This is too much. Screw the scrolling. We don't even need to do the scrolling for the key bindings. I forgot we only have 8 key bindings. We've actually got more resolution options than key bindings. Alright, I just need to change the sizes of things and where they're at to figure that out, which is not easier. I need to, like, instead of 8, I need to cut it up into 11. Yeah, I gotta turn 8 into 11 through math. Alright, so everything's fixed besides... Yeah, everything's fixed. This has been... so I can look at it again. Let's look at it and see how close I can get these boxes together. In fact, what I should have done is put the box on my mouse and I could look at it. Oh yeah, I should definitely do that because then I can see what my coordinate needs to be for my second box. So let's do that. Exit, let's go to my font finder. I want to go create sprite index equals what the hell are the delete buttons? Oh right, that's the little squares. Yeah, that's not right. We want S selection. But we also want to say image X scale equals 0.5, so it matches the others. And we want to draw this thing, which we've already got. We've got our X and Y coordinate, and we don't care about this because we're not doing that. Okay, cool. So this way we can actually see where the box needs to go. And then once we figure out the first box, we should be able to figure everything else out. I don't know, I'm just gonna have to like... Yeah, it's too much work to find out where 21 boxes are supposed to go. I'm just gonna have to kind of like enter numbers and hopefully get it to work. Right, so yeah, I really needed to pick this one. Alright, let's do that. If I go back to full screen, you should be able to see the screen now. Alright, so that's where the first one is. Oh wow, this box doesn't match that box. That's odd. Hard to tell what the distance between these even is. Especially because the boxes don't match up. The guy I did the resolution thing with did say that you might have to adjust your sprites to stop them from being stretched and skewed incorrectly. Honestly, I didn't think it looked too bad. Looking at the background, I thought it would be fine. Like, it makes sense at lower resolutions it'd be a little less quality, because that's what happens with lower resolution. But things didn't look that skewed. For some reason, like, the difference between this and that is just massive, right? I wonder why that is. I would think the two objects would be, or the two sprites would be identical. This one is so much smaller. I don't know why either. I mean, it doesn't really matter as long as the hitbox is correct. But also, it doesn't really quite line up in the middle anymore either. Oh no, it doesn't line up because it's missing the number on the end. So actually, it does line up. It's just missing one number, so it looks weird. Well, I don't think it's going to change anything. Basically, if I just wanted a small gap in between each of these buttons, I could do like 247. Oh, but I don't know what the difference is there, because I can't see where this one is. This one's somewhere like in here. Oh, that's right. I know what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be what was it again? 260, 277? It's not 277. Oh, it's at 260, that's right. So 260 is where it's supposed to be. Okay, so if I wanted it 247 from 260, that would be 313. Okay, so if I subtract 13 from the Y, then that should bring it in closer, and then the next one will be 26. There will be multiples of 13 basically, to condense them and maybe get them all on screen. I don't know. I gotta figure out like where the bottom one would be anyway. Can't think of like any easy way to do this. Oh, this is why it's smaller, because I had this X-scale thing in here. Don't do that. Okay, well that explains that. That's good. At least that's one thing. Alright, so multiples of 13, what would that be? It would be right, so the first one's 160 still, and that doesn't change. The next one would be 247. The next one, oh, this is gonna get really hard. So 26 from that is 5434. So 334. 26, that's 39. 39 from that is 30. 5 from 300 is 295, but it's not 295 because it's supposed to be based off of 4. This is getting confusing. I need to use a fucking calculator. I might be able to do a couple of them, but nope. Unfortunate thing about having OBS settings on the numpad is I can't use it for using my calculator. Alright, so what was it? It was 460. minus, we had 13, 26, 39, or 21. No. Yeah. I was way off then. Right. 13, 26, 39, 48, 52, 65, 78, 80, 91, that's 8. We need to go to 11. So that would be 9, 10, 11. Okay, 91, that's 104. Next one is 117. And finally, 130. Yeah, 13 times 10 would be 130. So I did it right. Good. Wait, that's 10. It should be 11. Oh, the first one doesn't count, so it is 10. Cool. Alright, so numbers. 560 minus 52, that's easy, that's 508. Then 660 minus 65, that's easy, that's 595. Okay, yeah, 595. Next one, 760 minus 78, too hard. $682. 860 minus 91. 769. This one shouldn't be hard. This would be 960 minus 104. 960. That's hard. 960, that would be 860 minus 4. 860 minus 4 is 856. Alright. Next one is 1060 minus 117, 943. And then 1160 minus 130 equals 1030. Okay, that should be all my coordinates, my y coordinates. Let's just try it. I don't know. Hope I did it. Hope they all fit on screen. I don't feel good about this. Maybe I should have done it like the way I plotted the points before, I think. I probably would have been smarter now that I think about it. That's totally what I should have done. Could I do that instead right now? Probably. I wish I had it still. I got rid of it because I didn't think I'd need it. So I know this isn't select, as it doesn't have the right thing selected anymore. Gotta lock it every time you start GameMaker Studio. Okay. Yeah, it's all gone. I don't know. Let's just blindly go with the coordinates we've mapped out and hope for the best. All I need to do is draw this draw thing, or change this draw one. to be the new one. Oh, that's right. And then I gotta do like the offset for all the font stuff. It would be fine if I just had to plot in the numbers for the buttons. But meaning I gotta do it for the fonts too. If I screw it up, then I'm gonna have to do everything again. What if I did just the buttons, which is all in here? If I did just the buttons, and they're in the right place, then I can match up the fonts later. The only problem with this is I can't see the buttons unless I've selected them. But this seems better. I'm gonna do this. Alright, 160, 247, 34, 421, 508, 95. Alright, those should be our coordinates. Do it again. So 247, 34, 1. Alright. It'll look weird, but I should be able to cycle through these and just see if all the buttons fit in the screen, which something tells me they're not going to. Just based on the way I've tried this, I'm gonna have to reset all this. It's easy enough to do. And then I'll just have to like create the room, put all the buttons in, get the coordinates from that. I think I should have done that from the start. Anyway, I'm gonna look at this and see how close it got. It's not close. Hoping for the best there. But yeah, it needs to be a lot closer than that. That means that the y coordinate or the y-x scale needs to shrink as well. That means all my numbers are wrong. Awesome. Okay, you know what? With that, we're gonna press Control Z a lot of times. There we go. We're back to where we started there. I'm going to map all this stuff out and get the correct coordinates for everything and redo all my numbers because everything was wrong, it turns out. Which, you know, it's unfortunate, but sometimes it happens. There we go. Fix all this. I'm going to erase a lot of these numbers. I don't know what the hell this one was for. Okay. I definitely need these. Alright, save that. Yeah, so basically what I'm going to do is what I want to do. I'm gonna make a new thing for instances. There we go. I'm gonna move it down. And if I do this, I don't have to delete this later. So we go to grab our options window. Put it where it goes. Put all their buttons where they go. Honestly, it doesn't really matter that much. I just need this first one where it goes. But it's got to be at the correct size. Five. And why is everything being dragged right now? Right? This doesn't make any sense. Oh, I see that this doesn't change unless you unlock it, so it only locks the one instance thing. That's really annoying. Lock this one because it's the one we're using. Oh, they're both selected, I guess? Weird. Alright. I want this to go where it's supposed to go, because this one's actually correct. 1250, 160. Alright, so that's where that button is. It doesn't do the updates. Is that right? 0.5. This is 0.4. I thought it was weird. There we go. So that's where both of those go. Yeah, so I just need to, honestly, I don't even care about the second one. I just want to make sure I can fit 11 in here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So all that's got to squeeze in. And I got to figure out how that's going to work so that it matches up. And yeah, the second one doesn't really matter. I'm going to have to shrink the thing. So let's do like y 0.8. 8 looks pretty good, or 0.7. 2.8 to start with. I have to change all these scales to match. So I'll do this in 0.8 too. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to do this to find out where all these buttons go. And once I have that all figured out, then I'll plug it all in. Something I should have done a while ago. I just didn't... I thought I was going to do a scroll wheel thing, but I completely forgot that I didn't even need to do that because I only had 8 buttons in the key binding, so... I don't know. It just seems easier to squeeze it all on screen and not have to worry about all that stuff. Because it's unnecessary for this game. This game doesn't have that many buttons. Alright, but all that aside, I've been streaming for 2.5 hours and my brain is fried. So I think I'm just going to stop here. Keep streaming off stream later. But I need to take a break. Do I put this on YouTube? I might as well. Hi YouTube. I'm still working on it. As you know if you're here. Yeah. It sucks. But I'll keep working on it. A lot of this. At least I have this much updated though. The next time I come back, well, we'll see. I'm not going to say anything. I don't care. Bye. I ramble.